For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Ross Kopelman. I'm based out of New York City and Palm Beach, Florida, and this is Dr. Alan Wells from Brazil.
Yeah, for me it's a pleasure. And let's talk about the great hair transplant that you can have. That means really natural result. And we have been evolving of that. Tell me how things are changing in the last few years.
Well, the first thing that we have to think about is if you're thinking about going for a hair transplant, you have to make sure that you're seeking out a great, well-accomplished team. And setting those standards is very important.
Yeah, well, here in Brazil, and it's very nice that you are here and we are discussing different techniques. The first thing that we have to master in hair transplantation is a natural result. So first, we always look at the patient, and each patient we make an individualized plan, you know? So we want, he has to look very different with a full of hair, but no one will notice he did a hair transplantation. So we extract the hairs one by one, the FUE technique with very tiny instruments, punches, and we were discussing a lot about punches, the size of the punches, how it matters. It matters a lot if I'm working with a 0.8 or a 0.9, 0.95. That makes a huge difference. So the technical aspect of the hair transplantation is so important, so important. So we discuss a lot about, oh, here I'm using like this punch it's a trumpet. The format of the punch is like a trumpet. It helps to have less transaction. So what do you think about that?
I think one of the critical things that is being highlighted is using the best technology is important.
Yeah.
Okay, and always making sure that you're using proper punch sizes. If the punch size is too big, well, guess what? You're going to get complications back here. And believe it or not, we've seen complications from other colleagues, other doctors. So it's critically important that whoever you go to, they're using the most advanced devices. I know in your office you use the Trevolini, we use the wand device. These are some of the two best devices to perform hair transplants. And if you want to do a really beautiful result, it's critical that you use the right punch size. If you're using too big of a punch size, it's going to cause complications.
Yeah, and that's something that's important that we individualize. So some patients, they differ a lot on the hair caliber. So some patients have very thin hair, and we have to change our punch. You know, so that's the thing. We don't make the same surgery for every patient. So some patients have have thick hair. So it's a different approach. Like I can begin extracting with a little rotation and then oscillation, and that changes with a patient with thin hair. So the depth of the punch that we go to extract the hair is different from each patient. So that's something that's very important. We have to customize our technique for each kind of hair. That's why we have so many different results between surgeons, and the most experienced surgeons, of course, will have better result. Or if you use the right technique, if you study a lot, if you practice the right way, you have better result, isn't it? So
one important thing that's being illustrated is that extraction is important, but the other important thing that we have to discuss is hairline design. And we talk about natural as being important. And that is really where the art of the transplant comes. The art of the transplant is how the hair is placed on different angles, positioned correctly, and everyone does not do it the same way. When we perform hair transplants, when myself and Dr. Alan Wells does hair transplants, we are very artistic, very meticulous about how the design is laid out. Anyone can extract, but not everyone can design.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little bit about your approach to what you do when you do your designs. What are the unique things that you think you're doing at your practice I know we've discussed what I do in my practice. I'm very meticulous about how I make incisions, coronal incisions, sagittal incisions, making sure I use really small blades so that we can pack density. What are you doing at your practice?
Yeah. So first thing, we need density, we need the proper angles. But one thing that's important, the hairline is different for every patient. So some patients, I need a little bit more curve. Some patients, I see their face, so they have, it has to match my hairline design. It shouldn't be the same for every patient. And that's so important. So that's why the consultation is so important. So like some patients, I see them, I say, this deserves a little more flatter hairline, always with curves. And some patients, they need a different hairline. Sometimes we make this side, the temple area, we have to design it better. So it begins in the hairline planning, and then we think about the proper angles when we do the incisions. Has to be in the perfect angles. And something that's very important and people don't talk too much, the kind of hairs, like the thinner hairs, go in the first millimeters. We insert the finer hairs, you know, that's so important, and some surgeons don't pay that much attention for that. So the thicker hairs, we place them in areas that need volume. So we have so many details.
There's so many details, and you know. So what Alan is explaining is that in the front hairline we want a lot of singles. The singles give the softness. They give the natural look, and then we put doubles and triples in the mid crown and the scalp, and the mid scalp and the crown area. So there's so many steps to a hair transplant. There's so many elements. So many things can go wrong. Truly, there's so many things that can go wrong. And so I think what we did is we illustrated, number one, the team is important. The type of punches that are used to extract hair is critically important, because you use too big of a punch, you're going to cause an issue. Number three, making sure that you understand how to do hairline design is the whole art of this.
Yeah.
And so think about all these elements before you go for a hair transplant, because you have to make sure you're going to the best. That's really what this boils down to.
Yeah, nice. That's it.
So if you enjoyed this, please make sure to subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.